What's going on, guys? John here from The Real Talk, finally back again with another review for you guys today. And that's for Kingsman, The Golden Circle. And this movie has a huge cast, guys, and is obviously directed once again by Matthew Vaughn. So the first film, guys, I want to talk a little bit about it real quick. And it just caught me off guard. And I actually didn't see the first one until last year, like early last year. As it was one of those films I slept on. I really wanted to see it, but especially with Matthew Vaughn, I was gonna say Vince Vaughn, Matthew Vaughn directing, Kick-Ass and X-Men: The First Class, just two films that I really enjoy. And then I saw Kingsman. I was like, you know what, this guy is someone we need to watch for. So with the sequel coming out, I was a bit nervous because the sequels kind of tend to suffer a little bit. And to be honest, I was kind of right, but not by a lot, because I still enjoyed this movie. As always in my reviews, guys, I like to start off with my negatives. So the first one for this film, I have to say that's a bit too predictable, especially even with me watching the first one again yesterday to prepare myself for this one. I saw a little similarities that I had, with like some of the villain characters and then some of the non-so-villain characters. I don't want to give too much away. I saw a lot of obviously the same things, and even in other movies too as well, a lot of other spy movies, you saw some things coming. So I was like, okay. I also found some of the comedy unnecessary. Like sometimes they went for jokes that didn't land with me, and the first one did have some jokes as well, but especially I feel like they threw in a lot of lightheartedness, jokes in places that didn't belong. Like there was this one scene involving Elton John in towards the end that kind of it was like a serious thrilling type of action scene, and he just comes in and kind of ruins it, and it just took me out of the movie so bad because his song plays over that little moment as well, and it's like, what the heck? Like, I know these movies can be out there, especially the first one and the second one, but I don't know, that one was just too out there and it took me out of the movie, unfortunately. So that's got to be a negative. I also noticed that some of the editing was kind of like, what the heck? There was this one particular scene that, I think it was like the statesman, stuff like that, their characters and the plot or whatever. All of a sudden it just cuts to Julianne Moore's character, Poppy, the villain of the movie, and it just goes back to them. And it's like, okay, that scene was literally just there for no reason. If it was cut out, it would have the whole movie would still be the same. I was like, what the heck? So I noticed a few of those moments throughout the movie. So I was like, you know what? It could have been a little bit better edited. And lastly, I feel like the villain wasn't really well done. I feel like the first one had a really cool villain. Obviously Samuel Jackson's pretty cool, but, and I'm not saying Julianne Moore is bad, or she's a bad actress or anything, but she actually plays the villain a bit kooky and stuff like that, and I actually like her role, but I don't know, it's just, for me with a villain, I like to have at least some good motivation, and she didn't really have it, she was doing her thing, and it's like, okay, I'm mad because of this, it's like, is that really why you're gonna try to, do all this? But I don't know, I feel like the villain could have been done a little bit better. Moving on to the positives, I feel like the cast did a pretty solid job, especially the returning cast members, Taron Egerton, Mark Strong, and Colin Firth. And as far as for the new cast members, like Pedro Pascal, I think he did a pretty good job. Julianne Moore, I feel like her character was misused, but she did a pretty good performance. And then, Jeff Bridges, Halle Berry, and then Channing Tatum were kind of just there. I feel like they were just casted to kind of bring, the audience to this movie. And they could have just been any other actors. But, I mean, they did okay for their, their roles and stuff like that. So that's that. One of the things I liked about the first Kingsman was the action and the fighting, guys, and I'm glad to say that they did it again with this one, especially with scenes like the opening scene and the last, big action scene. I thought they were really well done. In the opening scene, you have this cool car chase with them fighting inside the car and stuff like that. So, and also, I noticed that they, especially in the first one, and this one they brought it back, this quick editing, quick cutting, action scenes, when they're fighting, stuff like that. It's not shaky cam, but it's just quick editing, quick cuts, zoom in and zoom out. I really like that action. I feel like it just gets you more involved and kind of adds to the thrill and stuff like that. So the action and the fighting was well done. One of the last things, guys, is the cinematography. I thought they had some pretty cool shots, like I was saying earlier as well, with the whole fighting scenes. I thought those were really well shot. And also there was this one scene towards the middle, when they're up in the mountains in the snow, when there's, this action scene happening, and, you have a beautiful landscape in the background. I'm really a big fan of those. And also the music, I know I talked about it in my negatives, but they had some good moments where they had some really decent, music choices that actually fit. In the beginning, I thought that scene scene was really well done, and the song was kind of like perfect to go along with the action and stuff like that. So the music and cinematography were pretty good. Overall, I really had fun with this one, but it was disappointing. Like a lot of movies, you know, when they have the second one coming out, you love the first one so much, so you expect the second one to be just as good or even better. And there's a lot of cases like that, but in this case, the second one for me falls short. So with all that being said, guys, I have to give Kingsman: The Golden Circle a 7 out of 10. And I do recommend it if you're a fan of the first one. Like, they have some cool character moments and stuff like that that kind of, you know, carry on from the first one as well. So if you like those characters, you like the whole vibe of the first one, I think you'll enjoy this one, but it's not as good. So let's see how the third one does. I know that Matthew Vaughn did want to do a trilogy, and also he wanted Dwayne Johnson to be the villain. So I hope that happens. I'm really down to see that. So if you're interested in seeing this one, I say if you're a fan, I say just go check it out. But if you have seen the film, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. And if you guys want to follow me outside of YouTube, you guys can on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Real Talk, talk with 2 Ks. And as always, I'll see you at the movies. Later, guys.